Hey, my name is Ryan with Yushu, and today I'm looking at one of Luosjiet's newest boots, their service boot in black waxed rough out. In this video, I will go over the QC of this boot, we'll talk about the specs, we'll try them on, and go over sizing. So thank you so much for watching. Please enjoy. To start off, I want to talk a little bit about tariffs because things have changed with Luosjiet. So now you can sign up to be one of their members, and all this really is signing up for an email. Because if you spend over $200, they will pay the tariffs on the boots. So most of their boots are over 200 bucks, so it kind of works out well that way. But you will get email updates on their newest offerings. And I think Luosjiet is offering a lot of new stuff. They're going for a little bit beefed up construction of their more affordable line. If you don't know, Luosjiet is a subsidiary or from the same people who make the XBXS boots, which are an extremely high-end boot made out of Hong Kong, China. And Luosjiet, they're basically the same QC, but you're not getting like the name brand leathers and the name brand soles. But this is an absolutely stunning boot that's coming in right now, I think around $330, $340. It might be on sale at the time of this filming. It was on sale, but I don't know when you're seeing this, for $300. So again, $300 with shipping, no taxes, no tariffs. They pay it, and it is an amazing boot at that price. So what we'll do is we will turn the camera around. We'll kind of look over the boot, the features, the QC, and then we'll try them on. For those of you who are patient and watch to the end when I try these on, I will have a wife score with these boots. I know I kind of hit or miss with the wife score, but she was there when I unboxed these, so I got her score. And another thing is, on this boot, I have the laces that Luosjiet provided. On my other boot, I put in some darker laces that kind of go better with the leather, in my opinion, but I did want to show you kind of what's provided out of the box. Luosjiet does not provide a premium unboxing. I mean, everything is great. It's sufficient. It's wrapped in plastic. It's in 2 cardboard boxes. It's great. It's just nothing that we're going to highlight because it's not that big of a deal. But what is this boot? Well, this is their new service boot. It is built on what they're calling their number 2 last. So this is their almond shaped last, which most of their kind of affordable service boots, it seems like, are made off of also. You have 5 eyelets, 3 speed hooks. It is a 270 Goodyear welted boot. So we see that's when the welt kind of starts at the heel and goes around to the other side. And then they're able to put a heel rand, which is another piece of leather here, and kind of just sand that a little bit smoother, a little bit tighter. It has a leather insole, a leather midsole, a leather heel counter, and a rubber outsole. So that's the specs of the boot. Luosjiet did raise the prices of their boots a little bit once they started this new system of they will pay the tariff fees, which is kind of understandable, you know, and they're just trying to make their business work. But they did up the prices because of it. But right now, it seems they are on sale to like the original prices. So I guess it's a good time to buy if you're interested. What do I think of this boot? Well, Luosjiet is one of those companies where if you are into QC and you're into just perfect stitching, this is the boot to get. You can tell that this company makes some of the highest quality boots on earth, and the XBXS is that quality. I mean, they're just absolutely phenomenal. But with Luosjiet, you know, you normally weren't getting stuff like a leather heel stack, a leather midsole in that sub $500 boot, but they're creating, I believe, like a new line of boots that is to bridge the gap between their $200 boots and their $500 boots that are just super cool service boots using more of a, you know, a locally sourced leather, but of more leather components in the chassis of the boot to kind of fill that need that some people have with a little bit more support with like leather midsoles and so forth. I would say the last is very, very comparable to like a Viberg 2030 last. It's very refined. It's not super wide. It is more of, you know, a standard D width last, a little bit tighter heel than the 2030 last, but just a really clean, really beautiful last. And this leather is going to be what's going to be so unique about this boot. So this is a Chinese tanned black wax flesh to give the appearance of like a Horween black wax flesh, which is an amazing T-cord type leather that will age beautifully over time. The wax will get rubbed off. You'll have an amazing patina. And another thing people love about wax flesh, it gives you that kind of cool sheen without being like super high gloss. And it also won't really crease. It will roll because this is the rough out. They take the smooth version, put it towards the inside of the boot, and you get the rough out, which has been just heavily waxed. And so there's no pull-up or anything like that, but it just makes for a beautiful, beautiful look. I don't know how this leather is going to be in comparison to Horween's offering, but from what I see so far, it looks really great. The tongue leather is the same finish, but it does have a different back. So they just have maybe skive the tongue down a little bit thinner so that it breaks in a little bit easier. But the true grain side of the leather here is very waxy, it's very oily, but it is kind of coated while the tongue is a little bit thinner. Luosjiet, you always get that super nice veg tan insole with that quarter sock liner that I really prefer in my boots because it breaks in nice over time. And then, with this one, you get that veg tan midsole, which is the first time I've had a veg tan midsole boot from Luosjiet. So I'll be happy to see how that breaks in. But look how gorgeous that stitching is. I mean, it's just unreal. The quality of this boot is insane for that $300 price, especially with companies like Truman who are offering similar boots to this, in the 500 range. And they're just having so many quality control issues that I know this is made in China and some people don't want to buy a boot made in Hong Kong or whatever. But I mean, if you really just want a boot that's just absolutely dialed in, this is going to be the company, and just amazing shapes to the boots. It's one of the more refined boots that I have are my Luosjiet boots. They just really know what they're doing. I do want to buy an XBXX boot at some point because that's just this stepped up. I will talk a little bit about this sole. I have this sole with the other Luosjiet service boots. It seems like a really great sole. I tried to beat up the sole. You can watch my reviews of my other service boot review on Luosjiet. I did about a year ago, so you have to kind of go back in the archives. But I really tried to beat up the sole, and it was really strong. It's not a name brand sole, so it's not a Vibram. It's similar to the Vibram 430. It's a little bit deeper grooved than the Vibram 430. You can see, while it doesn't stand out that much, it has a little bit deeper of a groove. Obviously a Chinese company, but it's really nice. It's got like a cork rubber feel. You can see there's something in there. So I really like the sole. I tried to beat it up, lasts a long time. Yeah, it's not going to have the yellow Vibram tag on it. That's one of the things with Luosjiet. A lot of times you're not going to get that name brand sole, but it's just going to be great, just not name brand. So that will be interesting to see about this leather. It feels amazing. It feels super thick. It's going to T-core amazingly. I am thinking of putting this in the Patina Thunderdome, which at the time of filming is like 6 days away. So when I try these on, I'm going to really try to be careful. So I do not want to scuff them up and get them disqualified, because it would be kind of cool to see how this T-cores over time. But let me know if you have any questions about the boot. Now I'll try them on and we'll go over fit and sizing. I forgot to mention that the Luosjiet is lined in the vamp, and it's a really nice lining leather. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'm really impressed with the lining leather. Again, it feels like you're getting close to that SBXX boot brand. So let's go over sizing. Sizing is a little bit different for me with Luosjiet because I size 46 in their boots, and if you look at their conversion, 46 would be equivalent to an 11.5 for most boot guys. So I would say, if you're a 12 on the Brannick, boot guys always, go down that half size and you would get the 46. But I am a 12.5 on the Brannick and a 12.5D and a 13C. I size down all the way to an 11.5, and I kind of figured out why I do that with Luosjiet, and it's because the last fits my foot perfectly. It's one of the things I talked about in my top 5 favorite boots videos where I featured the Boondocker boot, is I value how things fit my feet specifically, and the Luosjiet boot last just like fits perfectly. It's like it's almost bespoke, it feels like, to my foot. I can size it down and it's still just perfect. So I'm sizing down basically a whole size from what they recommend. They recommend me going with the 46.5, but it's just perfect. It feels amazing. It's perfect around the waist. The heel grips perfectly. The shape around my toes is just identical. I mean, yeah, I love it. So I go down a full size. I recommend especially on this service boot last that you go down the half size like normal. Keep in mind when you're looking at Luosjiet, their lasts don't come in different widths. Like this last only comes in this width, but their different boot models are built on different lasts, and those have different widths. So if you need like a double E, they have a fighter boot on their website that has the double E last. So just keep that in mind. The indie boot that I kind of started this channel with reviewing, it is an E width last, so you might have to size that a little bit different, especially if you have a narrow foot like me. Look at their sizing chart, you should be fine. And then any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments. I'll try to get back to them. So yeah, there's the boot, just an absolutely stunning boot. I am blown away by this boot because you're really getting the quality and the refinement of a Viberg boot, but you're just not getting the name brand leathers and the name brand soles. So if you want to spend around $300 and get something that looks like it's, you know, $1,000, Luosjiet is the way to go. And again, I'm walking kind of weirdly right now because I don't want to crease it, because I do think I will put these in the Patina Thunderdome. This kind of looks ridiculous, so I've got to fix that. Let me know if what laces I should go with. Should I go with the black laces or the brown? Let me now show you my view from this boot, and we'll go over the wife score. So here is my view. I'll try to keep it steady. You can kind of see what's going on with the shape of the last. Just a gorgeous last. So what is the wife score? So when I was unboxing these, I got the same exact reaction when I unboxed my John Lofgren El Capitan boots with my wife. She looked at these and she said, oh wow, those are some really high quality boots. And that kind of blew me away. She doesn't know the cost of these. She didn't know the cost of the John Lofgrens, but she could just tell that these were not your average boot. These were nicer. So she gave these a 9 on the wife score, which blew my mind. She just thought they were really stunning boots. And I was like, hey, you know, what would make them a 10? Like how could these boots become a 10 in your eyes? And she said, I hate the laces, which was hilarious because I do agree. That's been one of my gripes with Luosjiet, is they always put like the same brown laces with every boot. And I don't know, maybe they know that most boot guys are going to go put their own laces in there. With the right lace for her, they're like a 9.5. So you're almost getting into the, you know, indie boot when it comes to what she thinks looks the best. In her mind, it was like they look expensive. They looked higher quality than the average boot that I wear. So that's her idea. You know, just like to throw that out there. I think I would agree with her. They just are stunning. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the next one.